How are you guys doing? Hey, good to see you out here. It's Mr. Rhines with Math in the Woods today, and fancy meeting you guys here on the bank of the creek. This is part 3. If you remember, back in part 1, we were along Dry Run Creek, right there near Prairie Hill, and then I think part 2, I was by the little creek. That was back in Del Santos Woods, the little creek that flows there. And so today I'm actually back along Dry Run Creek, but in a different area. This is in Hononegah Forest Preserve. The creek right here eventually winds right around through here and makes its way into the Rock River. So that's kind of cool. Good to see you guys today. I'm glad you're able to join me. The air is really still right now. It's really heavy. It's going to be raining here pretty soon. And I got to actually get rocking because going home and I'm going to burn our little prairie in the backyard today hopefully before it rains and get some dinner. So let's dive right in with some things. Hey, how about this? That is so bizarre. Look, I found a whiteboard and some markers out here. That'll be perfect. Next, I'm going to grab my clipboard. All right. And try to stay out of the water here because it's right there. All right, you guys watched a great video yesterday of a lady going through things like integers and additive inverse and the zero pair. If we think about just some of the stuff that we reviewed last week, let's take, I don't know, like a +2 plus a +3. Remember, we don't always have to have that positive number in front of there. And we know that's going to equal 3. If we were looking at that on a number line, and we had 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, equals 3, Mr. Rhines. 2 plus 3 is 5. Oh, yeah. See, we're doing it in real time. We're not just, backing the tape up and doing that. We don't have tapes anymore. We're just making a video of this. So anyways, we start off with 2. And because we're going +3, that means we're going away from 0, the 0 mark. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and it brings us to this 5. If we were doing this, for some reason that black marker is a little harder to erase. Okay, if we were doing this with negative numbers like we saw last week, so a -2 plus a -3, and sometimes they put brackets or parentheses around that, then this would equal, we know, a -5. If we were doing it with absolute values, you take the signs that they're using, boing, negative, negative, so the answer will be a negative. Add n plus add n is a sum, and then you just, absolute value of 2 and 3 is 5. So if we were looking at this on a number line, now with zeros way down here, we have -2 here, -1, -3, -4, -5, and so you'd start off at -2, and you're going -3. When you're doing negatives, you're going further away from 0, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, boink, and puts us at that -5. Now, what you started seeing yesterday and what you saw today, let's just lick that, and we're in nature. I mean, we can, Mr. Ryan, you're going to lick that and take that marker off? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, so get over it. All right, so let's look at some things here. If we were on our number lines, that's infinity positive and infinity negative. When we have those numbers that are opposite, it creates what we call the 0 pair, because like a -2 plus a 2 or a +3 added to a -3, it's always going to equal 0. They balance each other out, coming back to the middle of that number line. So let's just take a problem today. How about 5? Can you see that on the board? 5 plus -8. All right. And when they're opposites, when you have different signs, then you're going to find the difference, and you're going to take whatever one's furthest from 0, and that will be the dominant sign. So in this case, which is farther from 0? +5 or a -8? 8 is farther from 0. This 8 is negative, so we know our answer is going to be negative. And then we just find the difference between the two. 8 minus 5 is 3. All right, let me say that again now. When we have two different signs, a positive Where's that positive, Mr. Rhines? Remember, we don't have to show it. If it's not there, it's assumed to be positive. So a positive, and this is plus a negative number. Whatever one is furthest from 0 will be the sign of our answer, the sum of the two add-ins. So 8 is further from 0. It's going to be a negative then. We take the difference of an 8 and 5, and it will equal 3. If we do that with a number line, okay, let's say this is 0, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All these are negatives, and these are positives. So we start at number 5. Let's grab a different colored marker there. So if we start at 5, now we're going to go -8. Whenever you see a negative, you're going to the left. You're moving towards the negative side. We're still up in the positives, but we're moving to the negative side because of that negative right there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so our answer was -3. Those of you who like doing the number line, it is so bizarre when you guys took your little Google form yesterday on Monday, and I said, there was a question in there that said, how many of you are comfortable doing it the absolute value way? How many are comfortable doing it the number line? And how many of you are confident doing it the colored chips way? It was literally 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It was a split right from the class. A third of the class liked it this way, a third of the class liked it this way, and a third of the class liked it this way. Where if it's 5 and it's positive, remember positives are green. I always think of it as like go. Positives are go. You get to go on a green light. Negatives are like stop. It's not as good maybe. So we have 8 of those. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, got them all. Okay, then blue marker. There we go. Blue marker. So these will link up here. And so what are we left with? 1, 2, 3 red ones, 3 that are negative. So those are a couple different ways that you could have showed it if you were, depending on which one you were most comfortable with. Then we said, okay, practice one that you maybe weren't as comfortable with, and so hopefully you were able to do that. All right, let's look at one more example here. Okay. Well, I was going to say I should switch around so I can lean on a different knee, but if I do that, I'm going to be standing in the creek, so which would be entertaining, I realize, but not something I want to do. So let's take this second problem. Let's say 6 plus a -5. What will that equal? If we do it the absolute value way, we're going to say, okay, which is further from 0? 5, this side, because it's -5, is that farther from 0, or is the 6 farther from 0? 6 is farther from 0. 6 doesn't have a sign in front of it, so it's assumed to be positive. So that means our answer is going to be positive. So if you want to, you can write a plus sign there, but remember, we don't have to do that. So now it's just a matter of doing the difference between 6 and 5. So 6 minus 5, the difference means subtraction, so it's going to be an answer of 1, positive 1. If we look at that with a number sign, so I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to start at 6, and let's go this way. How many? 5? -5. So when it's negative, I'm heading towards the negative side. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My answer is 1. Hey, how about that? If I do it with the chips, the chip method, I'm going to have 6 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have 5 of the negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these will cancel each other out. What am I left with? 1. one positive. So there you go. Those are the 3 different methods. Now, a lot of you rocked it out when you did that. Some of you missed some. And I feel like if you're missing those, it could be that you're not understanding it. But if you watch that lady go through that video and hear, and you take your time, don't just rush through and click and go to the next one, because on a lot of those, you get one shot at those Google Forms, and then that's it. So take your time, think through it, take notes like I said. Some of you even made copies and showed me your notes. You're supposed to do that, and that way I can say, hey, oh yeah, they did take some notes on those. They did try to understand what she was saying and looked at the examples, so that when it came to the application, where you actually applied it to those Google Forms, you're like, oh, makes sense, now I can apply that. And if for some reason that didn't, hopefully it did here. So today, what we have you doing, we're gonna be switching these. So we always ended up with a positive one here and a negative for your second add end. But today we're gonna switch those around as you try to figure out your sum using any one of these types of methods of solving again. Okay? All right, I think that's about it. Like I said, I got some things I gotta get home to do, and then still get lessons ready for you guys tomorrow. So hope things are going well. Crazy times, but it's fun to be able to get together with you guys here, especially when we're out here in nature. A little while ago, there's a barred owl booming over here calling. They make a sound that sounds like, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? So it goes, woo, 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 woo. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? He was booming as I was coming in. I got chickadees up here. We got the creek right here, and you got math right here. So peace out, and we'll see you along the way. Bye-bye.